By a show of fingers, who trusts the Trump administration to steer you in the right direction when it comes to your health? Show of fingers. Who trusts the Trump administration to steer you in the right direction when it comes to your health? I've got Caitlin, Shayna, which is two of you. Caitlin, why do you trust them on healthcare?
Just solely due to the fact that he's done a lot of bans with like dyes and he's made things where they have to be more natural. He's banned vapes, which I think is really good for our younger generation who's all started vaping. It just seems like he cares more about people's well-being than other administrations have. The last time I would say I've seen health people care about people's health care would be the Obama administration and how much Michelle did for everybody.
Okay. So you heard the Trump administration ban vapes?
Or that he had something to do with it. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay. And Shayna, why do you trust the Trump administration on healthcare?
I mean, a lot of like what Caitlin said about banning the dyes. And it's not like I'm gonna trust them without doing my own research either. So stuff like that they would say like, oh, doing this is good for you. Okay, let me do my own research on top of that too.
Okay.
I would also like to note that everybody was in a frenzy because Trump was in administration during COVID, and everyone was like, oh, he's not to be trusted, not to be trusted. The vaccines aren't to be trusted. And now here we are 4 or 5 years later, and things aren't as dramatic as everybody was claiming they were going to be. So I think that gives me a little bit of trust in him because he got us through that pandemic as well.
For the other four of you, why don't you trust them on healthcare? What's your hesitation? Elizabeth?
I believe that there's still a lot of greed in all parties in the government. Um, and so I'm not an expert at all the connections between like pharmaceuticals or the food brands or the American Heart Associate. Like I believe that there's connections all throughout. So I'm just not gonna trust really anybody that is profiting off of me to make my health decisions.
Okay, but what about the Trump administration? How are they profiting off of you?
Again, that's where my ignorance comes in because I don't know all of those connections. It's not personal, but it's because they are in that power position that I just have that theme of not trusting those people in power. So it's not many specifics. I do appreciate the bans. I think they could be a bit more aggressive though, because this is urgent. So.
Okay. Anu or Grace, Harmony, why don't you trust the Trump administration when it comes to healthcare?
I suppose it's because there have been some controversial issues that have happened, such as with vaccines and budget cuts, and so I'm not 100% sure what exactly that effect will have currently, as well as their stance on a lot of international issues, such as not partnering with a lot of global organizations in terms of healthcare and different things like that. But it's a bit too early to see the impact of that. But I'm just a little bit unsure about that, mostly because I don't know too much about any of those particular details or
Okay,
specifics.
got it. Anu, why aren't you trusting them on healthcare?
Pretty much exactly what Elizabeth said.
Okay. By a show of fingers, who knows that President Trump said that pregnant women should not take Tylenol? Who heard the news that he said that? Pregnant women should not take Tylenol. Who heard the news that he said that last week? Show of fingers. Harmony, had you heard that or not? No. Two of you heard it. Caitlin and Elizabeth. For all six of you, by a show of fingers, who thinks that is sound medical advice that pregnant women should not take Tylenol? Who thinks that that's sound medical advice? 5 of you think it's okay. Anu, why don't you think that's sound medical advice?
I guess I'm just a little bit ignorant because my question would just be like, what's wrong with Tylenol?
Okay. Shana, why do you think it is sound medical advice?
Just because obviously I think that if you're pregnant, taking less medication in your body is better for the baby.
Okay. Got it. Anybody else have a different reason, different from Shana's?
My reasoning was I kind of looked into it deeper, and the medical side of it came from Harvard. So Trump was actually just reiterating a report and medical and scientific stuff that he had gathered. He didn't really just pull this out of thin air. It came from studies done at one of our best institutions. So
Got it. By a show of fingers, who trusts the Trump administration to steer you in the right direction when it comes to your health? None of you. None of you trust the Trump administration to steer you in the right direction when it comes to your health. Really? Okay. So tell me why you don't trust them on healthcare. Nicholas?
I don't think I'd trust either administration when it comes to, I guess, making decisions or providing me a path about my health.
You say either administration, you mean who?
Either side,
Like Democrats or Republicans, you mean?
correct.
Okay. But why don't you trust either one?
I think that it comes down to your own physical health and your own doctor. I don't think a government should be deciding how to keep you healthy or how to provide you the necessary care.
Okay. So hold on a second. Just play devil's advocate. So the government puts warning labels on cigarettes. It puts food labels on packaged food. You don't trust it. You don't want it doing that kind of stuff?
No, I would agree with the types of rules and compliance they put in place with food manufacturers and tobacco manufacturers. I think that's great. In terms of the actual food you're putting in your body, that's your choice.
Okay. Let me hear some other folks I haven't heard much from. Ian, why don't you trust the government on health care?
I just kind of, well, sometimes I think that like food could possibly be like deliberately made like that for like population control and stuff.
How do you mean population control? What are you talking about?
Well, I just feel like our life expectancy is going down, like it's not going up on average. And I think a lot of that could possibly be from food, alcohol consumption, drug abuse, tobacco.
Okay, but I understand. Why don't you trust the Trump administration to steer you in the right direction when it comes to your health?
Well, I wouldn't say Trump is necessarily the greatest physical fitness. So, I mean, if you should be in a better example if you want to promote physical fitness to others, I guess, if that's your job, what you're trying to do.
Okay, got it. Any other reason why you don't trust it, the administration on this? No? Okay.
So,
By a show of fingers, who knows that President Trump said that pregnant women should not take Tylenol? Who heard him say that? All 8 of you heard him say that. By a show of fingers, who thinks that that is sound medical advice? Only 1 of you. Tim, why is that not sound medical advice?
To be honest, I haven't done much research. I know he made that statement, and but I just don't know the data or what RFK is using to support that thesis.
Okay. Ruben, why is that not sound medical advice?
As someone who grew up around doctors, I know for a fact that that's not sound medical advice.
Okay, but just respectfully, just because you grew up around medical people doesn't make you an expert on Tylenol and pregnancy.
No, it makes them an expert on how Tylenol can affect someone's body, and I'd trust them more than I would trust what RFK or the President Trump is telling me.
Got it. Okay. Any other reason why you do not think that's sound medical advice, different from what we've already said?
I just
think-
think there's.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
Sean.
I just feel like there hasn't been enough studies. I feel like there needs to be more long-term studies that like get a bunch of pregnant women and introduce some that have Tylenol, some don't, and see if it's actually a fact that Tylenol can be linked to autism.
Got it.